This is my most recent Barbarian build. The Aldur Barbarian. He uses mainly the Aldur set. Doesn't have a lot of magic find, but he does have over 812% damage dealt to demons. The reason for this is all of these Pull runes that I've put inside of the Aldur's Rhythm Mace, which I've upgraded into Devil Stars. It's got a G face for the Crushing Blow, Aldur's Armor, which has a jewel for more damage to demons, Angelic Amulet and Ring, boots for the rest of the Aldur set. Comes with good attack rating bonus. Dwarf Star, just for more life. I'm using this belt for slowdown effect and the lay on hands. Like, you can't go wrong with that for an extra 350% damage dealt to demons. Is this the best Barbarian build? No. Is this a viable Barbarian build? Totally. He uses Frenzy Mercenary with Crescent Moon for the static field proc. Delirium for crowd control because he needs it. Lawbringer for crowd control, mainly against Fizz immunes. And Treachery just because it's the best for mercenaries, in my opinion, when they're melee. Yeah, pretty much all of my ladder seasons, I start with a Frenzy Barbarian, and I've done this for the last, 15 years. It's not the best decision, but I always make it anyways, just because it's what I do. I like it. It's really difficult compared to a sorceress to get going, and I tend to join a lot of multiplayer games and sort of quote unquote leech until I can find enough stuff to get rolling. But that's also my reasoning for trying out this build with the Aldur set. Mainly because you can get it for so cheap. You can get like the entire set for like 20 perfect gems, like right at the start of a ladder. You can see me rocking Hawkmail right here, moving on up. Later in the end, you might have noticed that I'm not even using Ravenfrost, and that's because once my frenzy gets going, I'm already running like 600 miles an hour, and frenzy goes pretty quickly, so it doesn't really make that big of a difference. Is there a better use for all of these Pull runes? Probably. But was I also the only Aldur Barbarian on the last ladder? Also probably, because who's dumb enough to do this? It's not the best all-around build, but it is a good build in terms of I can pretty much run any area, primarily due to how many stats you get from the set. Like, you don't need to invest a whole lot. Where if you go back to the start of the video where I had the stats up, you can see that this Barbarian, he's running with over 500 vitality, which is absurd. I think I get a little bit upwards of 3,500 HP after a level 1 battle order. Like, you don't need to put anything into battle orders. You can pump your skills elsewhere. And you can use all of those those jewels that you find that add damage to demons, because where else are you going to use them? Bonus points if it's got requirements minus 15%, because that makes the overall strength requirement 81. So you just need 81 strength to wear everything. And you get double dexterity. Like, this is me just running through like the older quests. Like, I've got 360 unallocated stat points right here. Finally pumping all my frenzy, loading it up. I think I maxed out frenzy and all of its synergies. War cries, maxed out taunt. You can do shout, battle orders, battle command, 1-point wonders for this build. And it was actually a pretty big relief that I didn't have to max out battle orders on this, which I feel like that's a given for most barbarian builds. It'd be stupid not to. But just with the amount of vitality that you can pump, because you don't need to put into strength. Like, here we're in Hell Trav. I'm killing these guys totally fine. It's pretty viable, and you can see coming up here that I still haven't allocated any of those stat points. I still have 360 stat points unallocated, and he's doing all right. He's killing things. These are even undead. They're not even demons that he's attacking. So it's one of those things where you feel like, or at least I feel like, Diablo 2 really shines, is there's no right or wrong way to play this game. Like, I can dual wield a druid set and be pretty successful doing so. I always approach each character build with an end goal in mind for that character, and this particular barbarian, I wanted to focus mainly on the Flayer jungle area, just because it's got so many good high density areas within it, and it's a good source for mid rune drops, for rare pelts, fanged helms, stuff like that. And because you don't need to max out your battle orders, you can pump find item, and whenever you join a group game, not only can you have that big impact on killing the boss, but you can also have like insane find item, just because you've got 20 extra points that you normally would have put into battle orders, but now you can use it elsewhere. So he's a good barbarian just to run around 600 miles an hour, have 75 fire resistance, 75 lightning resistance. Cold and poison don't really matter, unless you're up against Blizzard Sorceress. It is not a PvP build at all. This is 100% PvE, but it's so fun just to run around in one shot. Run around the Flayer jungle and just one shot clobber these guys with maces. Because, I don't know, it's a blast. Now, it's hard to say what the end goal is in Diablo for a lot of people, and I feel like it's always different player to player. For me, I've never really prescribed to the whole min-max. I need to have the best meta build. Like, I wasn't running Frozen Orb Sorceresses back in the day, or spamming Whirlwind Barbarians. I'm trying to make a Thorns Paladin work, which I still, if anyone finds a way to make Thorns Paladin work, let me know, because that's my holy grail for unorthodox builds. I just always enjoyed just the viability of weird, quirky builds in this game, and I feel like that's why this game has stood the test of time for so long. This is because you can do whatever you want to do in this game. Like, when Diablo 3 came out, I was so excited, and then you're pigeonholed into using your class weapons. Oh, if you're sorceress, you need to use the sorceress items. There's no way that you could possibly carry a sword as a sorceress, because who would want that? Well, I want that. I want to make a melee sorceress. I have made melee sorceresses, and they're so fun because they're not intended to be that way, but the player base found a way. They made it work because this game allows you to explore those options. Frenzy Barbarian, it's pretty basic build for barbarians, right? It's hold right click and win the game, right? But there's so many other facets of building a Frenzy Barbarian that a lot of people they look past, I think. Like, if you're not using dual grief, then why even bother, right? Well, that's stupid. Like, make a dumb build. Like, find an item, upgrade it, pay more than you should on the build, because why not? No one else is gonna. So it might as well be you. And plus, look how badass this guy looks. He's got orange armor, spiky helmet. Right? He doesn't look like every other barbarian in the game. Like, and it's pretty viable everywhere you go. This build. I'm running Sewers, running Anya. Like, I want to make a Natalia Barbarian next. If only I had the ability to use claws. But I'm not really sure what weapons would go well with a Natalia Barbarian. It's like a high dex build, I guess. Maybe I do a concentrate Barbarian and just focus on max block and just smash people. Who knows? That's the beauty of this game, is you can theory craft. You don't need to be the best to have fun at this game. Like, there's nothing more enjoyable than coming up with an idea based on something that drops, and you go, oh, that's gonna be so fun to make this work. I'm gonna put it in my stash, and then you level up your character, and then you get all the pieces, you put it together, and it's not half bad. You're surviving, you're thriving. Like, you may not be doing 2-minute bail runs, but that's not what this is for. Like, we're in Worldstone Keep level 2 right now, and I'm still clobbering these guys. Black souls everywhere. Not really having an issue. I know my mercenary's definitely helping a lot with Lawbringer, keeping me alive on this. I do pop rejuves here and there, but like, if I didn't, then what fun is that? You need some element of danger. But for a build that costs like 20 perfect gems to make this happen, and yeah, obviously all those Paul runes, but they're probably the easiest mid-level rune to find. It's not a bad way to spend a ladder. So I think you guys should try it out for sure. And plus, it's got over 800% damage dealt to demons. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. How many Aldur's rhythms do you guys leave on the ground? Like, I did a lot. Because it's useless. It's a druid set that no one uses. Because why would they use it? Because there's so many other options for a druid to be way better than using the set that's intended for druids, right? Or Talrash's set. That's a phenomenal set for sorceresses. It's probably the best PvE set in the game. Immortal King set. I don't know. I've never used it. I've never gotten the Sacred Armor, personally. But using an Aldur set on a Barbarian, it's been pretty fun. And you can go anywhere, not really have to worry. Like I said, I made this specifically for the Flare jungle, although I have branched out elsewhere. It just takes a little bit longer to run other areas, but you can do it and you are safe. This would be a good hardcore build, in my opinion, just because he's got over 500 vitality, and you could avoid pumping up your find item and actually get battle orders, and then you'd be that much more safe. But it's a good build for as cheap as it is. Do I recommend having this be the very first build of a wipe? Only if you hate yourself and you don't want to do Mephisto runs and you want to just run around with like 70 magic find and find nothing. Yeah, don't really recommend it if you're trying to accumulate a lot of gear quickly, which that's how some people play Diablo. But if you're coming at it with the standpoint of, hey, I want to run Flare Jungle and I want to find a ton of white monarchs, then this is a pretty good build for that. Or, hey, I want to just run through the game at my own pace, have decent gear, and not have to spend like a solid month of my time farming for a viable Barbarian. Also a really good build. But that's the spirit. You find so many monarchs in Act 3. It's insane. Absolutely so many monarchs. I found over like at least 20 through the course of this. Just running Flare Jungle. I'm getting sidetracked. But it's just it's a fun build. You're just cruising around, not afraid of anything. With your mercenary, who's also running 1,000,000 miles an hour because he's also Frenzy Barbarian. Just being best buds, Frenzy Barbs, running around the game. And you get find item, you get so much like extra loot. Like, I think that's why I enjoy running Barbarians. They're absolutely my favorite class in the whole game, because you can constantly just double that little gamble itch that this game scratches for most players. Like, that's why you play this game, right? It's because you want, what's that next monster gonna drop? What's he gonna drop? Is it gonna be good? Is it gonna be bad? How many runs do I need to get what I want to get, or what other people want to get, so then I can therefore trade to get what I want to get? But there's just so many ways to play. I highly recommend that you guys all go out there, Find something like this Balrog blade. No one uses this. Someone might. I'd love to see someone make like a fire druid using that, because why not? You know? It's not the best. There's way better options. But are you going to be the coolest looking fire druid? Probably, because you're using a two-handed sword. No one uses that. Frenzy Barbarians are fast. You know, you can snake gull runes off the ground. Like, you really don't need to fear these guys in Chaos Sanctuary, because you got a Dwarf Star, you got Magic Absorb, you got max fire resistance. Are you gonna clear it as fast as a Hammered In? No. Are you gonna clear it as fast as most quote unquote good builds? Probably not. But are you gonna have fun doing it? Depends on the player that you are. Depends on what you're trying to get out of this game. But I don't know. It was a fun build, and I encourage you guys to go out there and find your fun build. And I'll try my best to keep putting out videos of my own crazy, unorthodox builds, and hope you guys like them. Stick around, subscribe. Let me know what you think.